revealed how a humble mechanic transformed a millionaire's life with one heartwarming engine fix. In the heart of a quaint Midwestern town, where the scent of fresh apple pie floated through the air, Jake did his best to keep the legs of his father's legacy running smooth. The small auto repair shop he inherited was a testament to hard work and community values instilled in him by his late father, a war veteran. On blistering summer days, as the sun blazed overhead, Jake toiled away, grease on his hands and love for his family in his heart. But he didn't do it for the flashy cars or the acclaim. He did it for honest folks who just needed a reliable mechanic to trust. Then came Logan, storming into the garage like a whirlwind. The Millionaire's luxury car squeaked and groaned, mirroring the strained air between them. Logan's tailored suit clashed with the dusty tools and worn-out chairs in the shop. This wasn't just an inconvenience. It was an intrusion in Jake's world. Logan, a cautionary tale of the American dream gone awry, appeared oblivious to the profound wisdom that resided within the humble mechanic. At first, Logan dismissed Jake's capabilities, seeing him as just another mechanic. But as Jake examined the luxury machine, his meticulous skills didn't just uncover mechanical flaws. They stirred the undercurrents of Logan's own life. The conversations that began to flow were far more than just about engines. They unveiled a longing in Logan's heart, too often buried by the dazzling distractions of wealth. As Jake tightened bolts and fine-tuned wires, he saw Logan's facade begin to crack, revealing the isolation behind his success. "Why do you care?" Logan sneered, when Jake gently probed deeper into his life. "Aren't you just happy fixing cars?" Jake's reaction wasn't anger, but a calm perseverance, his voice steady like the hum of an engine. "Fixing cars is about helping people. It's more than just a job. It's a way to live," Jake said, his eyes reflecting the honest soul of a man who believed in something greater than himself. As the work continued, the tension between them escalated. Logan wanted a quick fix to a deep-seated problem, both in the car and within himself. When corporate solutions failed, the dispute flared. Just as tempers rose, Jake's steadfast devotion transformed the heated exchange into a shifting paradigm. The other townsfolk looked on, murmurs swirling in the air like the scents of pie cooling on windowsills. They understood too well the struggles of isolation in a world where riches often masked loneliness. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. That night, as Jake's family gathered around for dinner, sharing stories as laughter echoed through the shop, Logan's walls began to crumble. Jake's warmth and his family's collective support began to paint a picture Logan had long feared to face. The beauty of connection amid struggle. When the pivotal town event rolled around, illuminating faces bathed in orange light, Logan stood fixed in uncertainty. He felt an urge to speak, to finally express the lessons learned from this humble mechanic. His heart racing, he clutched the microphone, ready to share his journey not just of wealth, but of understanding the true richness of community and connection. Just as he opened his mouth, a familiar face from his past appeared in the crowd, leaving Logan frozen. Would he retreat back into the shadows of his old life, or embrace the hope Jake had ignited in him? The moment hung heavy in the air, pulsing with potential as the audience held its breath, waiting for his next move. Logan's heart raced as recognition washed over him. There she was, Natalie, his first love, a vision from a life he thought had long been boxed up like old relics in the attic. She stood amidst the crowd, a warm but shocked smile forming on her lips. The years melted away, and for a moment, it felt as if they were back in high school, laughing over ice cream cones and dreaming of a future filled with adventures and love. But this wasn't that carefree time. This was a crossroads. Logan's mind, a hurricane of thoughts and emotions, fought to pull him back from the brink of vulnerability he found himself teetering on. Memories flooded in nights spent talking under the stars, the sweet promise of forever. He could still hear her laugh, that melodic sound that made everything else fade away. And yet, nestled within those memories was the ache of their separation, the choices he had made, the one he had lost, while chasing something he thought defined success. He felt the microphone slipping between his fingers as he locked eyes with her. The crowd dissolved. All that remained was him, Natalie, and the echoes of his past. Would he speak the words he rehearsed or share the raw truth of his journey? Anxiety washed over him, zapping the earlier rhythm of determination. As Jake stood quietly, watching the drama play out, he sensed the pivotal moment. He felt it deep within. This wasn't just a moment for Logan, but a chance for the entire community to witness vulnerability take the center stage. "Logan," a voice called out, snapping him back to the moment. It was his old friend Paul, still anchored in the crowd, but clearly anxious for Logan to say something. Encouraging murmurs began to ripple through the audience, blending with the warm glow of string lights above, turning the event into a magical atmosphere. Taking a deep breath, Logan clutched the microphone tighter. The fear coursing through him transformed into a spark, igniting a new resolve. "I'm not just here to talk about my car or the money," he said, voice trembling yet steadier with each word. "I've lived a life chasing things that didn't matter, and in the midst of it all, I lost sight of what truly counts." As he spoke, Jake felt a swell of pride and hope. He understood that this was becoming more than a speech. It was a confession, a healing. The townsfolk shifted closer, leaning in as Logan's voice grew bolder. "I've learned that it's not wealth that makes us rich, but the connections we foster." Natalie stepped forward, drawn into the gravity of his words. Her heart ached for the love they once had, but she saw the man standing before her now, forever changed. "My journey brought me here," Logan continued, "to this small town and this incredible mechanic who taught me the value of community. Jake helped me see that beyond the lights and glamour, we all need each other." The crowd erupted in applause, but Logan's gaze remained fixated on Natalie. The weight of sincerity was heavy in the air. He wanted to reach for her, but feared the vulnerability of opening a wound that had never truly healed. In that moment, a shift occurred. The past and present intertwined, creating a new path forged from shared experiences. Logan swallowed hard, the microphone nearly trembling in his hand. "I want to reconnect not just with Natalie, but with all of you, to make what I lost a part of my future." The applause morphed into cheers, echoing the spirit of community, but Logan's heart still hung in the balance. Would Natalie respond to his unspoken invitation? The silence after his words was a tangible entity, more charged than before, heavy with anticipation as everyone wondered what would happen next. Would she take the leap with him into a new beginning, or would doubts pull them apart once more? Logan's heart thudded in his chest as the cheers faded into an expectant hush. The warmth from the crowd contrasted sharply with the cold fingers of uncertainty curling around his heart. He shifted slightly, searching for a sign, any sign, from Natalie. She stood there, her eyes sparkling with unshed tears, the smile still lingering but now mixed with a hint of trepidation. For a moment, time felt suspended. Memories swirled around them: giddy afternoons, late-night drives, secrets shared under a tapestry of stars. Would all of that mean anything in this moment? He had spoken of reconnection, but would she hear him? With the crowd's encouragement drumming in his ears, he stepped toward her, propelled by an instinct deeper than reasoning. Her presence was magnetic. "Natalie," he said softly, as if the sound of her name held the power to break the spell of their silence. Before he could finish, she took a step forward, the night air charged with unsaid words. "Logan," she began, but then faltered, looking down as the weight of history loomed over them. The crowd watched, captivated. "Just tell me," he urged, his voice barely above a whisper. He could feel the familiarity they once shared wrapping around them again, a fragile thread bearing the hope of rekindling what was lost. Finally, she met his gaze. "I've missed you. I've missed us," she said, her voice trembling. The confession seemed to break free of the past they had boxed away. "But it's complicated. So much has changed." Logan's heart sank, but he forced a smile, ready to dive into the complexities. "Maybe we can figure it out," he suggested, forcing any doubts to the back of his mind. "I'm not the man I was before. I want to learn and grow. I want to be present with you and everyone here." She paused, clearly battling her own emotions. The crowd's enthusiasm swelled, their murmurs echoing Logan's thoughts, and he knew this was bigger than them. It had the potential to heal the community itself. "Can we start by just being honest?" she finally said, stepping closer, a softness in her expression. "Can we, for once, be vulnerable with each other? I'm scared, but I want to try." His breath hitched as relief washed over him. "I'm scared, too," he admitted, laughter escaping him despite the tension. "But I can't keep running from what matters." What we had, it was real. Their eyes locked in a dance of emotions. Around them, the crowd held its breath, some bewildered, others hopeful, waiting for the next move as if their own fates hinged on this exchange. Before he could say more, she reached out, hesitantly taking his hand. He could feel the warmth of her touch seeping into his skin, an electric reminder of the bond they once shared. "Let us start with friendship," she suggested, a glimmer of hope breaking through her hesitation. "Friendship it is," he smiled, heart soaring at the possibility of new beginnings. It was a small step, but an immeasurable one at that. The energy in the space shifted, fueled by the palpable connection reigniting between them. People exchanged glances, some beaming, others still processing what had just unfolded. Yet, in the depths of his heart, Logan knew that friendship was just the first step. Both of them had mountains to climb and valleys to traverse before they could fully reconnect. As they stood there, hand in hand, a ripple of applause swept through the crowd. It was a sign of hope, but shadows of doubt still lingered. Would their past truly fade into a new future, or would they find themselves stumbling over the same obstacles again? Just then, a loud crash shattered the moment. A metal sign, previously secured by the evening's breeze, fell from its mount, creating a cacophony of startled gasps from the crowd. All eyes turned toward the source of the sound, and Logan found himself torn between the heartwarming moment with Natalie and the urgency of an unexpected disruption. What had just been a moment of vulnerability suddenly felt overshadowed by uncertainty once more. Would they emerge stronger from this chaos, or was it a sign of more troubles lying ahead? Logan's heart raced as the crowd recoiled at the sound of metal clanging against the pavement. That moment, the tender connection he felt with Natalie seemed fragile now, as fleeting as a wisp of smoke in a gust of wind. He squeezed her hand tighter, trying to fight the rush of panic swelling inside him. "Are you okay?" he asked, his voice steady even as worry prickled at the edges of his mind. Natalie nodded, though her expression was one of concern, not just for their moment, but for the unseen chaos around them. The audience was murmuring, their faces a mix of curiosity and apprehension. Some were peering toward the source of the disruption, while others tentatively focused back on Logan and Natalie. "Maybe we should check it out?" she suggested. Her eyes sparkled with determination mingled with fear. "It's just a sign, right? I'm sure everything's fine." Logan hesitated, unsure if distraction was what they needed right now. This was their chance to build that fragile connection again, yet the uncertainty loomed like a storm cloud overhead. Taking a deep breath, he let it out slowly, willing himself to stay present. "Okay, let us see what happened." A small crowd began to gather around the fallen sign, their excitement morphing into a collective worry. As they approached, Logan felt the rush of adrenaline. He glanced at Natalie, finding her face lit with intrigue despite the chaos. The warmth of her hand in his offered comfort. It was still tethering him to the moment they had shared just moments ago. When they reached the fallen sign, it was clear the disturbance hadn't caused any harm. A couple of volunteers had already moved to right it, the metal clanging back into its place. Just a little wind, Logan thought, but a reminder that life could be unpredictable. His focus returned to Natalie. "See, all good," he smiled, though the weight in his chest hadn't fully disappeared. She grinned back, but he could sense a lingering tension in her, too. But she started, glancing away as if wrapping her thoughts in delicate layers. "What if this is a sign for us, too?" He met her gaze again, a small frown forming on his brow. "What do you mean?" "I mean, we can't just jump right back into being close. Maybe it's not as simple as friendship. Maybe we need to confront everything past, present, even the stuff we can't control." Her voice softened, carrying a weight that pressed against the fragile hope that had bloomed between them. His heart fell. "You think we're destined to keep stubbing our toes on this?" "Not destined." She paused to press her lips together, as if pondering the right words. But there's a chance we could keep getting hurt over and over unless we talk about everything. The hurt, the love, all of it. Logan's head spun. The thrill of reconnecting had drawn him in quickly, but they were still standing on shaky ground. He felt exposed, vulnerable. Yet the thought of holding back when he just started pouring his heart into this was unbearable. I don't want to lose you again. Natalie's eyes softened, but the truth hung like an elephant in the air. Then we need to be brave, together. Bravery seemed a daunting task, especially knowing the past. But in that moment, something sparked within him, a resolve to confront the past so they could face a future. The crowd around them had grown quiet again, as if they were waiting for a new chapter to unfold. Okay, he said, his voice steadier now. Let us talk. Let us lay it all out. Just then, an older man at the edge of the crowd called out, "Hey, you two. We could really use some help over here." Logan's heart dropped again. The moment of intimacy slipped away, but their eyes locked once more, sealing a pact between them. They would take this journey together. Ready? He asked, a flicker of determination igniting within him. Ready, she replied softly, her smile returning. But her eyes held a mix of anxiety and hope as they moved toward the gathered crowd. Logan couldn't shake the feeling that the real challenges were just beginning. What would they have to face? As the wind shifted, a whisper of something unknown brushed against him, a shadow of doubt lurking beneath the surface. And he wondered, could love weather the storms of what lay ahead, or would they find themselves lost once more in the tumult of their shared history? The question hung heavy in his mind, echoing as they stepped into the fray, both aware that every step could reshape their future. Would they find healing amid the chaos, or would life's unpredictability tear them apart again? Logan and Natalie moved closer to the older man, his voice cutting through the tension that hung between them. As they approached, the small group gathered around a car parked haphazardly at the curb came into view. The vehicle, an old but shiny coupe, looked surprisingly out of place. It shimmered in the sunlight, but one of its tires was flat, and a few concerned looks passed among the small crowd. "What can we do?" Logan asked, scanning the faces around him. They all wore expressions of uncertainty, just like he felt inside. "We were hoping someone could lend a hand," the man said with a small exhale of relief. "I'd do it myself, but I'm not very good with machinery, and I don't want to mess anything up." Logan stepped forward, glancing over at Natalie, whose eyes brightened with a hint of mischief. "You up for it?" she asked, the playful nature of her question cutting through the weight of the moment. "Sure, I can help. I used to fix cars with my dad," he replied, adjusting his shirt. It felt good to have a task in front of him, something to focus on other than the emotions swirling around. With a nod from the older man, Logan crouched next to the tire. He felt the familiar urge to work, to fix something, to transform chaos into calm. As he started to tug on the valve stem, he heard Natalie join him, offering her support. "I can hold the flashlight," she said, moving beside him, her smile warm. He looked up, surprised at how her presence seemed to light up the moment. "You sure you want to play the assistant?" "Absolutely. I want to be part of this. It feels good to help, as if it's a sign." Logan chuckled, appreciating the little connection despite the heavy conversation they just had. As he worked, he told her little stories about moments spent in the garage as a kid. They shared easy laughs, their fears easing with each joke. But as the tire came off and the new one went on, an undeniable tension simmered again beneath the surface. Each rotation of the wrench struck a beat against the unspoken words that they both felt lingering in the air. "What were you thinking about earlier?" Natalie suddenly asked, surprising him. "When you were focused on me." I could see the questions in your eyes. The surprise of her singular focus on him caused a knot to form in his throat. For a brief moment, he hesitated. It felt risky to dive back into vulnerability, especially when the world around them felt so chaotic. He took a breath. "I was wondering if we could truly face what we've been through. All those years apart, the mistakes, the heartache, and the love," she interjected softly, her gaze locked onto his. "It's still there, isn't it?" Logan felt like he was standing at the edge of a cliff. The plunge into vulnerability felt terrifying yet exciting. "Yes," he finally admitted, his voice barely a whisper above the street sounds. "It's so strong, sometimes I think it might consume me." Natalie smiled, but it was an ache-filled smile, as if she felt the depth of his words. Then let us become the best versions of ourselves together. We can move forward. The crowd started to disperse as the tire was changed, and the older man thanked Logan profusely. But as he collected himself, Logan couldn't shake the thought. What if they truly couldn't get past the cracks in their shared history? What if trying only led to more hurt? Natalie's voice cut through his worries. About what you said earlier, we can heal the past. But we have to be honest about what hurt us. His heart raced at the suggestion, the weight of it pressing down. With their newfound determination, could they really face the past and reshape their future? As they walked away from the car, doubts clung to him like shadows. Logan glanced at Natalie, who looked ready and resolute. But he could still feel that shadow of doubt creeping in, whispering uncertainties about what lay ahead. What if love was not enough to patch the wounds of their history? As they moved through the crowd, he couldn't help but wonder, would they find the strength to transform their fears into something beautiful, or was the past too heavy to carry forward? Logan and Natalie walked slowly, still caught up in the energy of the moment. The afternoon sun bathed the street in golden hues, casting long shadows that seemed to mirror the complexities of their conversation. Logan's heart drummed in his chest, a mix of anticipation and anxiety mixing within him. Do you think we could really dig into everything that happened? He asked, his brow furrowing. He shot another glance at Natalie, trying to gauge her resolve. She seemed ready to leap into the depths of their shared history, a contrast to the way he felt like standing at the edge of a vast, dark ocean. Unsure of what waited beneath the surface, Natalie's expression softened. I think we have to. We owe it to ourselves, Logan. Ignoring it one team make it go away. Taking a deep breath, he nodded. How much had they both buried? The memories rushed back, laughter shared beneath starlit skies, heated arguments, the moment they decided to part ways. Each recollection pulled at him, a mixture of fondness and regret. Where do we even start? He asked quietly. Maybe we begin with this, she suggested, her gaze steady. Why don't we talk about that last day? The words left unsaid. Logan's throat tightened. That day had been chaotic. They were both so lost in their emotions, letting hurt and anger dictate their words. I remember feeling like I was fighting for something I didn't know how to keep. Natalie's eyes shimmered with understanding. I felt pushed away, like I didn't know how to reach you. It was the hardest thing, walking away without closure. A silence fell between them, heavy with unspoken truths. The laughter of children playing nearby punctuated the air, a reminder that life moved on around them, whether they felt ready or not. Finally, Logan spoke. I didn't want to lose you. I was scared of what it meant to be vulnerable again. Same here, she admitted softly, biting her lip as if to hold back tears. I didn't want to lose that part of myself that you awakened. I thought if I walked away, it would hurt less. Logan felt a tightness in his chest, but it only hurt more. Her nod was poignant, almost as if a weight had been lifted with those shared truths. We both made choices that day, Logan. Choices based on fear. Fear of failure, he added, the realization washing over him. Fear of falling apart again. The air between them shifted, and for the first time, Logan saw a glimmer of hope. Maybe they could rebuild, brick by brick, looking into each other's eyes instead of shying away. What if we could change our narrative? Rewrite it. Natalie's smile was tentative yet radiant. I would love that. But it means really facing the pain. All of it. The sun dipped lower, casting a warm glow across Natalie's face, illuminating her resolve. Logan felt drawn to her, as if an invisible thread connected them. I want to do this, he said. No more hiding. For a moment, the busy street around them faded, leaving just the two of them tethered by the weight of their past and the spark of possibility in the present. Do you think, he hesitated, do you think we can learn to trust each other again? Trust will take time, but we can build it, she replied, her voice steady and reassuring. Together, he echoed, feeling a sense of purpose rising within him. Just then, a loud honking broke the moment, pulling them back into reality. A car zipping past reminded them of the world clamoring for their attention. We should probably get going, Natalie said reluctantly. But neither moved. They both lingered, caught in the gravity of what lay ahead. Next time, can we talk about the things that brought us joy? Those moments when we found our laughter? Logan asked, his heart hopeful. Absolutely, she replied, a new energy in her voice. As they finally turned to leave, Logan's heart raced with renewed determination. Was this the start of something fresh and beautiful? He couldn't shake the feeling that they stood on the brink of transformation. But as they began to walk away, questions danced in his mind. Could they truly heal from the past? Or was the journey destined to reveal more wounds? Would facing the truth bind their hearts or shatter them entirely? The next few days passed like an exhilarating blur for Logan. Each morning felt fresh, igniting a spark he and T felt in ages. He and Natalie had begun texting small messages that swung from flirtatious banter to heartfelt reassurances. It was a dance between them, one filled with careful steps, moving ever closer toward rebuilding what had once been lost. One rainy afternoon, as thunder rumbled in the distance, Logan found himself at the local cafe, nervously stirring his coffee. He could almost feel the weight of their upcoming conversation about joy settling heavily on his shoulders. It had been a long time since he examined the brighter moments of their shared past, and he wondered if the laughter would come easy or feel forced. Natalie walked in, shaking off droplets from her umbrella like the sun breaking through clouds. The sight of her brought a smile to his face, a genuine one that felt foreign yet welcomed. She spotted him and gave a little wave, her eyes sparkling with the same infectious brightness he remembered. "Hey," she said, sliding into the booth across from him. "Sorry I'm late. The rain turned the streets into rivers." "It's okay," Logan replied, feeling something shift in his chest as he studied her. She looked different, almost luminous. "I've been thinking about what we talk about today." Natalie nodded, her focus intense. "Me too. Where do you want to start? The fun stuff, or?" "Let us start with fun," he said, his pulse quickening. "I remember that summer trip to the beach, the one where we got lost and ended up at that little diner. What were they called? The Sunset Burgers." Her laughter danced through the air, bright and intoxicating. "Oh yeah? I can still taste those giant milkshakes." We couldn't stop goofing off. Logan chuckled at the memory. "We tried to take that ridiculous selfie with the giant fake lobster. It looked more like a monster than a prop, right? I thought we would get kicked out for being so loud." Natalie leaned closer, eyes sparkling with nostalgia. "It was the best day." He leaned in as well, sharing that moment, savoring its sweetness. "That was a day I felt truly free, like nothing else mattered." They shared stories, weaving through evenings filled with laughter and late-night talks. Each recollection became a brick, slowly fortifying the shaky foundation of their renewed connection. Time slipped away, and with each moment that passed, Logan realized how deeply he missed this to share simple joys, to feel understood and accepted without fear. As they reminisced, Logan's heart began to swell with a blend of warmth and vulnerability. "You know, I've often thought about how we used to dream together what it would be like to travel the world, to explore new places without a clue in our heads, but fun in our hearts." Natalie's expression softened, and she reached out, touching his hand. "I remember so vividly we had so many plans. It felt like anything was possible then." Their eyes locked, and he felt that familiar spark, igniting hope again. What if we started dreaming again? Together? We could make new plans, things we actually do, not just things we talk about. The smile she offered was bright and hopeful, yet held something deeper. "I'd love that. But I also want to make sure we don't just focus on the good parts. We have to face the pain too, don't we?" His heart dropped slightly. He felt so light, and now the heaviness of reality crashed in. "Yeah, you're right. It's important to acknowledge everything." As they fell into a comfortable silence, a string of laughter erupted from the corner of the cafe. Logan watched a family enjoying their time together, soaking in each moment, and couldn't help but think, could they find that joy again amid the past shadows? Natalie's voice broke through his thoughts, and he turned back to her, seeing uncertainty in her eyes. What if digging into the tough stuff leaves scars, or worse, tears us apart again? Her question lingered in the air, the buzzing energy of the cafe strangely muted. Logan could only nod as a chill ran through him. Was this refusal to address deeper fears just a way to postpone potential heartbreak? But there was one thing he knew for sure. No matter what lay ahead, they couldn't turn back now. He opened his mouth to speak, wanting to assure her, but then felt a lump lodge in his throat. What if they risked everything only to find they were still broken? Could the joy they rediscovered withstand the weight of their unhealed past? The path ahead was clouded, but in that moment, All they could do was face it together. A storm of hope and dread rippled through him, igniting an urgency deep inside. Logan looked at Natalie, determination filling his heart once more. We'll figure it out, one day at a time, together. And as they sat there amid the echoes of laughter and the shadows of their past, Logan wondered if they truly had it in them to untangle the threads of joy and pain. Would they rise above the storm, or would the journey prove too challenging to navigate? Logan took a slow breath, stealing a glance at Natalie, who had avoided his gaze, seemingly lost in thought. Her fingers danced nervously over the table, a tiny tremor betraying her calm exterior. He wanted to pull her back into the laughter, to push aside the weight of what lay ahead, but that wouldn't help them move forward. Let us not worry about what could go wrong, he suggested, trying to lighten the mood. Let us just focus on what we can build. Natalie met his eyes, a flicker of doubt still clouding her expression. Building requires solid ground, Logan. What if we're only stacking cards? He nodded, understanding her concern. It felt like walking a tightrope, and he too feared the fall. Yet, there had to be a way through this, a way they could navigate the uncertain territory of their past and walk hand in hand into the future. Okay, here's an idea, he said, eager to keep the conversation flowing. What if we planned a small weekend trip? Just the two of us. Something simple to start. We could hit the trails or the beach, even get away from it all for a bit. Natalie's brows furrowed a bit. It was as if she was weighing the suggestion carefully. That sounds nice, but it feels like we're skipping steps. We have to talk about what went wrong first. He winced a little. Deep down, he knew she was right. Facing the music was vital, but the shadows of memories still felt daunting. You're prepared for that? I mean, I know I am, but I think I am. I need to be. She took a deep breath. But let us start small. I want to share, but I also want to know that I won't scare you off. Trust me, I'm here for the long haul. Her smile returned, timid yet bright. Then let us do it. Let us dive in. They spent what remained of that afternoon unraveling the past, revealing awkward silences and locked doors. A wave of emotions broke over Logan with every word. There were tears, laughter, and the tension of unspoken truths surfacing and poking their heads above the waves. They ventured into discussions about miscommunication, hurtful clashes that had hurt them both. Each painful confession was shadowed with relief, an acknowledgement of their shared humanity. I felt like I lost a part of myself when we broke up, Natalie confessed at one point, wiping a stray tear. I thought I was okay, but every day felt like an uphill battle without you. Logan's heart ached at her words. I get that. I would try to numb the pain, but there was a gaping hole where you used to be. As they shared their vulnerabilities, the atmosphere shifted. The cafe buzzed around them, a gentle hum of laughter and chatter, but in that booth, it felt like they had created a sanctuary. They were building something new, brick by heart-filled brick, that by the time they were ready to leave, it was as if a barrier had cracked. Their shoulders felt lighter, and while they were still wrapped in shadows from their past, it felt manageable, almost comforting. Looking into each other's eyes, they saw the flicker of promise, a chance to confront the deeper fears that still lingered. Logan stood, reaching for Natalie's hand, holding it with a gentle firmness. Let us take this momentum and channel it. We have so much more to explore together. She squeezed his hand back, a signal that she was ready to commit, to fight for this. As they stepped outside, the sky had cleared, revealing a wash of colors that promised a new dawn. What now? She asked softly. Now, he replied, a knowing smile spreading across his face. Now we face the rest of the world together. But I think we should make a pact. What kind of pact? She asked, tilting her head in curious anticipation. To share one good memory every day? Remind ourselves why we're doing this. Natalie laughed, a sound that felt like sunshine breaking through clouds. I think I can handle that. But you better come prepared. He laughed too, the weight of the past feeling a little lighter. Yet, as they began to walk down the street, Logan felt a flicker of anxiety. They had taken the first steps, but what else would he need to confront? And with their past laid bare, would the journey ahead hold new challenges he hadn't yet anticipated? As they moved forward, he could sense that they were on the brink of something significant, and he wondered, were they truly ready for the wild path that lay ahead, or would old wounds catch up to them in unforeseen ways? Logan and Natalie continued to walk, the new energy between them almost palpable. They felt lighter, like a weight had been lifted. As they strolled down the vibrant street, the sun dipped lower, casting golden hues across their faces. The laughter of children echoed in the air, reminding them of simpler times, when life felt easier and love seemed effortless. Okay, so what good memory do you want to share first? Natalie asked, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Logan grinned, trying to think back on the treasure chest of memories they had created together. How about the time we got caught in that rainstorm during our hike? She laughed, throwing her head back. You mean the time I dared you to cross that rickety old bridge, and then we both thought we'd be washed away? I thought we were goners. I was convinced we'd be the main storyline on a tragic news report, he said, feigning a dramatic tone. But honestly, even with the thunder booming, you looked so beautiful with the rain pouring down on you. It was like a movie scene. Her cheeks flushed at the compliment, and he felt warmth swell within him. Moments like this reminded him why they were worth the fight. Yes, well, you were wearing that ridiculous poncho, she teased, pointing at him playfully. You look more like a marshmallow than a mountain man. They laughed together, the sound wrapping around them like a warm embrace. And for a moment, they forgot all the heaviness of their past. But the jubilation was interrupted when Logan caught sight of a couple sitting on a nearby bench, huddled close. Their body language whispered the kind of intimacy that came from years spent together. He wondered if he and Natalie could ever reach that point again. Trust and love took time to rebuild, and even one awkward moment or miscommunication could send them spiraling back into doubt. What's wrong? Natalie asked, noticing the shift in his expression that he shook his head, pushing down the mounting worry. I'm just hoping we can find our way back to that, the closeness? We will, she replied confidently. It will take time, but I think we're already on the right path. Today felt like a major leap forward. Just a leap? I feel like we jumped through hoops. He laughed, but there was still a hint of unease in his voice. True, though maybe we should have packed a parachute, she said, her stern expression immediately softening into a smile, her eyes twinkling. You're right, he conceded. It's hard to picture what the future holds. But let us promise to be honest, keep communicating. No more secrets, okay? Absolutely, she assured him. And if we do hit a bump in the road, we can't shy away from it, no matter how tough it gets. Logan felt a surge of hope. Every commitment they made together bound them tighter. He realized how special this moment was, like stitching a quilt from tattered pieces of their hearts. Suddenly, a chill swept through the air as they rounded a corner. A cold wind picked up, and Logan could sense an unspent heaviness hovering overhead. He stopped in his tracks, and Natalie turned to face him. What's wrong? She asked, her laughter fading. It feels like there's something hanging out there, doesn't it? A storm looming? He knew the journey ahead wouldn't be smooth. Would they face another turbulent moment soon? Natalie searched his eyes, and he could see the concern mirrored in her expression. I just want to make sure we're ready, he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. They stood still for a moment, the weight of unspoken fears clouding their atmosphere, as if the world had paused just to let them contemplate. Would they rise together, or would uncertainty pull them apart again? As they resumed walking, a thought struck Logan. What if facing the past meant confronting not just their pain, but also the hidden truths about the future? Tell me, what if we find ourselves falling back into old habits? He asked, his brow nodding with worry. Natalie paused, searching his eyes. What if we fight together to overcome them? Logan nodded, and as they moved forward side by side, he couldn't shake the creeping sensation that something was waiting just around the corner for them, something that could either break them apart or strengthen the bond they were so desperately trying to rebuild. Logan and Natalie strode forward, hearts unsteady yet entwined. The sun cast a golden hue across the horizon, a symbol of hope that flickered in their chests. But with each step they couldn't ignore the weight of uncertainties pressing in around them. Just as the laughter of nearby children faded, the atmosphere shifted. An electric tension crackled in the air, warning them. Memories of old arguments and bitter disagreements lingered like shadows, and even the joyous moments between them felt heavy. Let us not turn back, Natalie said suddenly, pulling him from his thoughts. Her voice was steady yet soft, holding an unwavering determination that sent a rush of warmth through him. We've come this far, and I believe in us. He looked deeply into her eyes, searching for honesty, for commitment. But what if we encounter obstacles we don't know how to handle? What if we fail? She squeezed his hand, a reassuring gesture that reminded him of sunshine breaking through dark clouds. Failure isn't the end. It's just a sign that we can learn, adapt, and grow. Together, Logan felt the fear dissipate, replaced by a glimmer of possibility. So we face whatever comes our way. Exactly, she said, the sparkle in her eyes filling him with courage. No running away this time. We confront it head-on. Just then, a loud crash echoed through the street as a street vendor's cart tumbled over, sending hot dog buns flying like confetti. Instantly, both turned their heads, and laughter erupted from onlookers. For a moment, the sight pulled them out of their tension and into the warmth of community, the joy of shared laughter. See, unpredictable, just like life, Logan remarked. He glanced at her, and as their eyes met, they both smiled a silent agreement that even chaos could bring unexpected connection. Let us help, Natalie suggested, bouncing on her heels with excitement. Without hesitation, they rushed over to the vendor, joining others who were gathering to assist. Helping lift the cart back upright became an effortless distraction. Laughter and gratitude buzzed around them, and as they shared smiles and exchanged friendly banter, Logan felt his heart settling. Once the cart was back in place and the vendor was grateful beyond words, Logan caught sight of the sun dipping low, its amber rays casting a warm glow over Natalie's face. In that moment, something shifted within him, a realization as bright and beautiful as the sunset before them. He gently pulled her aside, away from the crowd, against the backdrop of the fiery sky. I know we can do this, whatever this is. I want to keep the laughter alive. Natalie's expression softened. Laughter is the best glue, isn't it? Logan nodded, his heart surging. And I want us to be an unstoppable team. As long as we keep being honest and supporting each other through challenges, I believe we can achieve anything. Then that's our pact, she declared, a radiant smile brightening her face. We face everything together, joy and chaos alike. As they stood close, warmth radiating between them, the moment felt electric. It was a promise, a foundation built on trust and understanding. Suddenly, a burst of fireworks exploded overhead, illuminating the twilight sky. The crowd around them oohed and awed, their attention drawn to the spectacle. Logan and Natalie watched, entranced. The brilliant colors painted a hopeful tapestry, echoing the excitement swelling in their hearts. Look at that, Natalie said, her eyes wide in wonder. It's like the universe is cheering us on. Logan laughed, his heart racing. Can you hear it? Every burst a celebration of new beginnings. As they stood hand in hand beneath the vibrant display, he felt alive. They had faced fear, vulnerability, and even the chaos of life together. This moment was a beautiful reminder that while the past shaped them, it didn't define their future. This is our first step, he said, face aglow with anticipation. Every day will be a new adventure. She smiled back, her expression filled with promise. With laughter, honesty, and a dash of chaos. Together, they leaned into the warmth of their shared future, intertwined and ready to face whatever lay ahead. The fireworks echoed the rhythm of their hearts, a cinematic finale of love's transformation and a community's embrace. They were no longer just two individuals with tangled pasts. They were comrades, forged anew in the pursuit of joy. As the final sparkles faded, Logan's heart swelled with gratitude. They were on a journey, and it was so much brighter together. Now, it's your turn to embrace this story of hope and transformation. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and support the community. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this. Ending your voice matters. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait, not even one more second. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.